everyone, MVD here, bringing you our very first Smash 4 tournament wrap-up video. As you may have seen, Wobbles has been covering the Melee side for us, so I'll be doing Smash 4. Today, we're looking at EVO 2016. Let's take a look at the top 32. Circa 6WX. He's one of the best Sonic mains in the world, but as of lately, he's been in the shadow of Wrath, another very talented Sonic player. Regardless of all of this, 6WX powered through a very difficult bracket at EVO 2016, only losing to Abadongo and Day to become the highest placing solo Sonic main at EVO. Up next, we have Panda Global's own ESAM. He unusually lost to Nick C, a Captain Falcon main from the Tri-State region, a matchup ESAM normally dominates in, but he just came up a bit short. After a successful run in losers, he met his demise to fellow Panda Global teammate Trella, who had a very good bounce-back tournament after CEO 2016. All in all, a decent placing for our top Pikachu representative. Moving on, we now have Ned, a Midwest Cloud main. Ned lost to Nicat in winner side of his bracket, but then happened to make it back to Nicat in losers, and was able to prevail over him to reach top 32. He then lost to Mars, and ultimately placed 25th place, a very solid placing for a new young blood smasher. Up next, we have a tie between the Bruce brothers, K9 and Panda Global's SS. SS has shown flashes of brilliance with his combination of Villager and Ness, but ultimately fell to Pink Fresh and Rich Brown, a very solid placing for a solid player. Moving on to his brother K9, a premier Sheik main from SoCal, he lost to Shaky in the winner side, but prevailed against Shaky in the runback and losers, ultimately losing to Ido in the NorCal Meta Knight. We hope to see the King of Smash prevail at his future Smash tournaments. Next up, we have Dath from South Florida. Dath is a very strong player and arguably the best Robin player in the world, losing only to Anti, the CEO 2016 champion, and his fellow Fire Emblem brother, Pug West. Ultimately though, in the losers bracket run, he was able to defeat Anti and give him a shocking 33rd finish at EVO 2016. Dath, finishing at 25th, had a very strong performance for his second major in a row. Congrats to Dath. Next on the list, we have Enemy Zone Tyrant. Tyrant is highly regarded as one of the top Meta Knights in the world, trailing only behind MK Leo, Ido, and possibly Abadongo. He had a very solid run at EVO, only losing to Reggie, the Mexican Game & Watch player, and Ken, the Japanese Sonic main. Congrats to Tyrant for this 25th place. Up next, we have Hyuga, the Mexican Toon Link main. Widely seen as the best Toon Link in the world, Hyuga battled through some tough opponents to make it as our final 25th place representative, only losing to Vinny and Zero while double eliminating Kirihara, the Japanese Rosalina main. Congrats to Hyuga. Kicking off our group of 17th placers is Aether Esports Zaltis. She is a very strong player from the South Florida region. EVO was perhaps her breakout tournament, defeating the likes of the CEO champion Anti in the winners bracket. While losing to Earth and Day, Zaltis cemented her spot at 17th at EVO 2016, something to be very proud of. One of the more shocking placings at this tournament is Mr. R finishing at 17th place. One of the most consistent Smash 4 players out there, he had some unfortunate SDs that contributed to his loss to Kamamushi in winners bracket. We have gotten so used to seeing him in the top 8s of multiple events throughout the year that this is a reminder that nobody is safe from upsets at majors. Absolutely nobody. Ultimately eliminating him from the bracket was Panda Global's Trella. We hope to see Mr. R bounce back to form soon enough. Following Mr. R on the list, we have Smash Factor's own Reggie, the incredibly talented Game & Watch from Mexico. Last year at EVO, Reggie finished at 13th place, so this is a slight step down from then. But, nonetheless, he had a very impressive showing at EVO 2016, only dropping sets to Void and Mars. Reggie has cemented his spot as the top Game & Watch across the globe. Next on the list, we have Rich Brown. Rich Brown has had a roller coaster ride in Smash 4, from starting off with maining Rosalina and Luma, as well as Olimar, and finally landing on Mewtwo. He's made some pretty big strides with his character. At EVO alone, he eliminated myself, Tyroy, and Foe, all in sequential order, finally finishing up at 17th place, only losing to Komurihiri and Mr. E. Some very respectable losses for a very talented player. Up next, we have Pugwest. Pugwest is one of the two best Marth mains in the world, next to Mr. E. Pug has shown consistent results and is steadily improving as a player, only losing to Earth and Larry Lur. Pug has shown that his Fire Emblem Prince, Marth, is making a strong return in the Smash 4 meta. Up next, we have Ido. Ido finished a very strong EVO bracket at 17th place, bringing his very unique Meta Knight into the fray. He battled some very tough opponents, in the end only to be eliminated by Mr. R and Nairo. Ido continues to show that regardless of any nerf to his character, he can still compete at the top level. Coming up next with a strong and a surprising 17th place finish is MVG's own Dyer. Dyer has greatly improved over the past few months. He took out some pretty amazing players at EVO, including Rain and Mars. Only dropping sets to Ally and Ken, Dyer has shown that he has stepped into the conversation as a top Diddy Kong player. Congrats, man. Last but not least, to wrap up our 17th place finishers, we have Komurikiri. Komurikiri is a very strong Cloud and Sonic main from Japan, widely seen as one of, if not the strongest Japanese player. Seeing him place at 17th can be a bit surprising, but when you see who he lost to, you kinda can't blame the guy. He took losses by Zero and Dabuz, two of the strongest players in the world. We hope to see more of Komurikiri in the future and wish him the best. Kicking off our 13th place finishers, we have Vex's own Day. Day has shown himself to be one of the best Lucario mains in the world. Hailing from Florida, placing at 13th place at EVO is no easy task. Taking losses to Dren and Trella, Day finishes with a strong 13th place. We wish him the best in his future events. Following up from Day, we have Smash Studios' own Mr. E, taking a surprising 13th place finish this year at EVO, taking out Zero in winner's bracket along the way. This is important to note because this is the first set that Zero has dropped at an EVO tournament. Mr. E inevitably lost to Vinny and Mars, securing his 13th place spot. Another surprising finish is Liquid Nairo placing 13th at EVO 2016. Nairo has had a bit of a rough patch ever since Zero Suit got nerfed a few months ago, but Nairo is a player that can definitely bounce back from anything. Taking losses from Renai and Larry Lur, we can expect him to come back even stronger. Wrapping up our list of 13th place finishers at EVO 2016 is Ken, a very strong Sonic player from Japan. Only taking losses from Void and Zero, this is a very strong accomplishment for his first time traveling for an international major. We hope to see more of him in the future. As we near closer to the top 8 finishers, let's take a look at the 4 players who just barely missed out on reaching top 8 at EVO 2016. Let's first begin with Panda Global's own Trella. Trella had a monster bounce back from his CEO finish, ending his EVO run at 9th place, defeating the likes of Mr. R and Panda Global's ESAM to get there. While only taking losses to Renai and Dabuz, Trella proved once again that he is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Following up on Trella, we have Mars. Mars has shown an insane amount of consistency ever since he first started traveling to events for Genesis 3, where he did top 8. Unfortunately for him, at EVO 2016, he only placed 9th. I say only because his standards are a bit higher than that. But 9th out of 2,600 plus players is very good. He ended his run with a heartbreaking loss to Dyer, as well as a loss to Renai. Mars bows out at 9th, and we hope for the best for him in the future. As we wind down to our top 8 finishers, we see ourselves at another 9th place finisher in Vinny. Vinny has been a top level Sheik for quite a while now, and he trained very hard to reach his ultimate goal of top 8ing EVO 2016. Unfortunately, he came up one placement short, losing to Void and Larry Lur, two of the best players in the world, so Vinny has nothing to be ashamed of. Wrapping up our players who just barely missed out on top 8, we have Earth, the very exciting Japanese Pit. Earth has been a solid player ever since his Brawl days, where he also made Pit. Unfortunately for him, his EVO run came to an end by losing to fellow Japanese player Kamamushi as well as Zero. We hope to see Earth come back to many events and have success. Let's take a look at the top 8 placings for EVO 2016. Coming in a tie for 7th place, we have Elevate's Larry Lur and Dream Team's own DeBuzz. DeBuzz and Larry have become 2 staples in our top 8s over the greater part of a year. Both have been very consistent players, both having wins on just about everyone they encounter in bracket. Let's get to their losses. Larry Lur lost to Abadongo and Zero, while DeBuzz lost to Ally and Renai. All amazing players, and we're very proud of them for getting 7th place. Coming up next, we have 2 of our 3 Japanese players in this top 8, Abadongo and Renai, both placing 5th place at EVO 2016. A fun fact, Abadongo and Larry Lur are the only 2 players to finish with what their PGR ranking dictates them as, Abadongo at 5th, Larry Lur at 7th. Abadongo has become somewhat of a regular at American events, placing very well at just about every single one he's entered, including a win at Pound 2016. Abadongo lost to Ally and Zero at EVO. Renai, on the other hand, the excitable Villager main, also from Japan, lost to Abadongo and Void. It's very good to see Renai come back to America, as this is his 3rd time coming to the States. Hopefully we see him again soon. Now that we're through with the top 6, let's get into the top 4. Placing 4th place at EVO 2016, we have CLG's own Void. Void has been one of the most consistent Sheiks next to Mr. R, who, as I said earlier, surprisingly was not able to even crack top 16. Void has improved drastically over the past year and has become one of the top world threats. Only having losses to Kamamushi and Zero, 2 players that place above him, that's a very strong showing for Void, and we wish him the best in the future. Now, let's dive into the top 3 of EVO 2016. Placing 3rd, we have TSM Zero, who finally was able to beat Larry Lur back, avenging his loss at CEO 2016, where he did not top 8. However, Zero was very close to not even placing top 32 at this tournament. He had a very close call with Salem for 33rd place, and after that, he powered his way through a difficult loser bracket which consisted mostly of Japan, up until his fated battle with Kamamushi, which he ultimately lost. We finally narrowed it down to our final 2 placements at EVO 2016. Our runner-up is Kamamushi, the Japanese Mega Man who came and saw and conquered mostly everybody. He dominated through his entire bracket, defeating everybody in his warpath with the exception of Ally, who is the grand champion. Kamamushi wowed the crowd and showed off his very impressive Mega Man tricks. I know that I, for one, was screaming in the crowd for Kamamushi. It was very exciting, and I truly hope that we get to see more of him in the future. And now we're down to 1. Ally, your EVO 2016 Grand Champion. Free agent Ally, might I add. Ally surprised everybody at this tournament. He dominated every single person he played, not dropping a single set. Very impressive by any standards, proving to be one of the world's best, and is now in discussion for arguably the best in the world. Very intelligent player, using his Mario throughout the entire event. He quite literally stomped his way into the history books, dominating EVO almost to the fashion of Zero last year. So, congratulations to you, Ally. You earned it. You are amazing. Keep up the good work. Now, what everyone has been waiting for, the list of the people who were upset and did not reach top 32. No, this is not the entire list because there's over 2,600 entrants, and that's way too much to go through. So, let's start off with some of the key Impact players that failed to reach top 32. We have, at 33rd, Clash Tournament's own Salem, who lost to Mr. E and Zero. Mind you, he had a very close Game 3, absolutely last hit set with Zero, and that 33rd that we're talking about right now could very likely have been belonging to Zero if he did not clutch it out. Next, also for 33rd, we have Kirihara, the Japanese Rosalina. He unfortunately lost to Hyuga twice, and that's unfortunate when you lose to the same person twice at any event. But, still decent placement for him. Next, we have Vex's own Seagull Joe, who lost to Mr. R and Ido. The man, the myth, the legend, who can beat Zero, but for whatever reason could not get out of top 33, which is unfortunate for him because he's a very good player. Next, we have Shaky, who lost to Kawamushi and K9 after beating him in winners, so that's super unfortunate. Tweak, who lost to Earth and Pugwest, and the CEO champion, Dream Team's Anti, who lost to South Floridian members Zaltis and Dath. Foe, who we've kind of gotten used to placing top 8 at almost every super major he's gone to, getting 33rd, losing to Komori and Rich Brown. Then we have Counterlogic Gaming's The Cat, who lost to Ally and Ned after beating Ned in winner's bracket, so that's another unfortunate circumstance that happened. Wrath, the very patient Sonic main, losing to Renai and Trella, two very difficult opponents. Now, for the 49th placers, we have Zenu, who lost to Zero and Salem, two very strong players. Zenodo, who finished runner-up at CEO 2016, losing to Doom, the Puerto Rican Rosalina player, and Tyrant. Next, we have Saj, who lost to TLTC twice. Very unfortunate to lose to the same person twice, as I said earlier. Video Game Bootcamp's Pink Fresh, who lost to DeBuzz and Panda Global's SS. E2C's Tyroy, who lost to Foe and Rich Brown. And then we also have DK Will, who lost to Dyer and Angbad. And last but not least, TGL's DJ Jack, who lost to Nairo and Esam. Very tough brackets out here for everybody, and that's only a short list of the enormous amount of people who didn't place nearly as well as they wanted to. I myself placed 65th, Mr. Con 9B placed 129th, the list goes on. So, you know, the one thing that we can all reflect on is it's not the last tournament ever, and we all have time to make up and improve. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you appreciate the video. Like, comment, subscribe, everything should be down below. We're going to be making more of these, so please let me know what I should do better, what you enjoyed, etc., etc. Thank you so much. This is PGMVD signing out.